Welcome to Find Your Way Home. This is a very important video because we have just seen the rough cut footage of the movie, The Great Warning. It is indeed great, and it needs our help.
I want to make sure that you guys understand this is not some cheesy Christian movie where it looks like they used only $8 of their kids' allowance. I know that's a funny thing to say that, but it was fantastic.
There are so many Holy Spirit moments that go into the filming of this where God came through in miraculous ways all the way from the beginning. One of those moments was when Father Justo do Feudo, who was very skeptical of the whole thing, saw the rough cut of the movie and just exploded with enthusiasm.
Excelente. Yo no esperaba algo así. Excelente.
Sin duda.
Va a ser muchísimo bien, pero muchísimo. Gloria a Dios. Benditos vosotros que habéis tomado esto, ¿no? Excelente.
This film by Belladream Films, directors who've won several awards for their accomplishments. They've raised and people have gladly donated over $1 million, and they've done incredible work with that money, and now they're on the home stretch and they need $293,000 by the end of August. Absolutely no later than August 31st. And we're going to show you clips from the movie. We're going to get you, I pray, excited about the film. I know that there's someone out there because the directors, they're relying on providence. They're extremely faithful people. A married couple, Martha and Juan Carlos Salas, and they're waiting on us to help them. Go to the website, thewarningmovie.com. It's completely safe. I've donated myself.
Estamos muy emocionados y les saludamos desde el Vaticano en Roma y venimos a consagrar esta película, El Gran Aviso, para que llegue a todos los cines del mundo.
Tiene una gran misión que realizar. Muchas gracias y recen por nosotros y por las personas que van a ver estas películas para que haya muchas conversiones.
I sat and enjoyed every single part of it, and I don't want to tell you too much about it. You'll see some clips here. But Juan Carlos was inspired to do this movie just by reading Christine's book, as I was inspired and many of you, and just had my life changed by what I read in The Warning. When I met Juan Carlos, and I was so privileged to fly down with Christine to Mexico to some of the filming on this, he told his story. He was is an award-winning director, and he had several projects lined up, big dollar projects. Well, long story short, God made sure to take everything off of his plate and opened the door and sent him a message. This is the movie I want you to do. What I saw was nothing, first of all, but the highest professionalism, the top quality graphic cinematography. The Great Warning movie, you guys, is amazing. It was inspired by this book that my dear friend Christine Watkins wrote, The Warning, Testimonies and Prophecies of the Illumination of Conscience. This book sucked me in, but I'm a reader. And what I love about the movie, The Great Warning, is that it is going to touch people like my mom. She doesn't like reading, but she's always saying to me, Christine, tell me more about the book. Read it to me. My husband, we drove from Virginia Beach to Wisconsin, and I read the book to him. My throat was so sore. He's like, keep going. Keep reading another page. But neither of them like reading, but they like things like the audiobook. And the movie is going to catch the entire demographic of people who are so visually oriented, like our Instagram generation. God is working through Juan Carlos and his team like God worked through my dear friend Christine Watkins. I know she's humble, so I always tell her she has to let me say that because I think the book is fantastic.
This movie, I was shocked. I'll be honest with you. I was shocked with how good it was. I was shocked with how moving it was, how real. As Christine Bacon said, it's not one of those Christian movies. This movie was done so well. It's so heartfelt. It's so real. It has Father James Blunt speaking, and he's fantastic. Everybody loves Father Jim Blunt. He speaks so rationally, so animatedly about the warning, about the state of the world.
The signs of the times portend is that we are definitely at the end of a non-religious era of civilization.
Why does this happen that some people prefer hell or darkness to light? This too is a scary question. And we can begin loving the good for which we were made, or we can begin having a taste for sin, for evil, and more or less fall in love with what is evil. And while it destroys us, we keep loving it and doing it. It's almost like a crack addict or a cocaine addict. We love something that kills us. It's like an addiction. There is a sin addiction as well.
It has a man who has studied near-death experiences. It has, from the book, it has Father Rick Wendell's story. He's so animated and wonderful in this film. His soul is completely open. Every emotion is pouring out of his heart as he tells his story, which is a knock your socks off tale of an illumination of conscience.
All of a sudden, I was in this, it wasn't a movie, it wasn't something projected, it was like right in the moment about my whole life, in a matter of minutes. I go through, starting with my childhood, and the things he revealed to me, like showing me my conscience, that's why I call it, an illumination of conscience. I got to feel the pain that I caused God when I was a little 5-year-old boy and went and stole a little toy automobile. I got to experience how that hurt, that stealing hurt the storekeeper. I felt how it impacted all the other people that were working. And that was just the beginning.
3 of the people in Christine's book were in the Great Warning movie, and I sat more or less captivated as if it was the first time I was hearing their stories. The way that the director put these stories together where you could see it, where you could be there while they were experiencing their illuminations and the aftermath, how their lives were changed. I swear, Christine, it was like it took, you're a great writer, but it took me even further into their illuminations. And it was just done so well that we need to get this movie out as quickly as possible, and so we can save as many souls as possible. I hesitate saying we, but we, me, you, the producers of the movie, and everyone watching who shares this video, everyone who will contribute to the movie, The Great Warning, we have a great commission.
The current situation for humanity and the spiritual and moral arena today is nothing less than a disaster. We've abandoned not only God, we've abandoned truth. And so we're sort of living in a fantasy land, but we now no longer know right from wrong. We don't even know that there is a right and that there is a wrong. So humanity, basically human beings, are becoming their own God. So we are in quite a war today. We don't know up from down, right from left. We need a true rescue from heaven.
And the acting is great. The people who have gone through an illumination of conscience. We have Emma, who is in the new version of the Warning book, at only 12 years old, she had an illumination of conscience. We have Father Rick Wendell, whose story I just mentioned. We have Alan Ames, who's a Catholic lay evangelist with an incredible ministry. His story is wonderful, and he does such a good job of expressing it. And Amaya, who, wow, I can't say enough about her and how she expressed her story. I don't want to give it away because it's something you really need to watch the movie to see. But here's a clip from her.
En ese mismo momento escuché una voz. Era una voz de hombre y me dijo estas palabras: bienvenida a casa. ¿Cuánto tiempo has tardado en amarme? ¿Cuánto has tardado en amarme?
How many millions of people will be radically changed after the warning? How many will allow God to save their souls? If these prophecies are real, one is left only to conclude with certainty that the warning is at the gates. And by that I mean it is very close.
This is the biggest event that Jesus Christ will do for the world since God became man.
Write this: before I come as the just judge, I am coming first as the King of mercy.
What is the warning? What is the illumination of conscience? In a nutshell, it is a moment in time, likely to happen in our generation, that many Catholic mystics and saints have spoken of, when the world will stop, when Jesus on the cross will appear in the sky to everyone, and it's biblical as well, when everyone will come face to face with the truth of their lives. They will receive a life review in light of their sin, and it will be a correction of the conscience of the world. People will know right then whether they, if they were to die at that moment, would go to heaven, purgatory, or hell, and they will be able to make a free will choice to choose God or not. This is a movie for the world. This is going to be translated into several languages. Its primary language is English, but it's going around the world. It's going to, I believe, save thousands of souls. It's going to be a beautiful, bright, gorgeous explosion that lands into souls. Here, we're going to show you some clips of people who also saw the rough cut. We didn't even see the final beautiful project. We saw the rough cut of the movie and we were astonished at how good it is. And so were these people who saw the rough cut of the movie in Fatima when the directors Martha and Juan Carlos were there.
Estamos aquí en Fátima, Portugal, y venimos a consagrar la película El Gran Aviso. Agradecemos todo el apoyo y pedimos mucho por esta película para que llegue a todas partes del mundo.
Estamos muy contentos de poder estar juntos en esta misión.
Tiene que saberlo la gente para reflexionar sobre ello.
Para los que no tienen conversión, que sirva de conversión esta hermosa película.
Fiquei impactada porque está estupendo.
Sinceramente la tienen que ver porque es espectacular y es la verdad de lo que está pasando, en lo que estamos viviendo en el mundo ahora.
Recomendo vivamente a toda a gente, católica, não católica, incrédulos, ateus, toda a gente, vejam este filme.
Este film va a hacer un gran bien porque está muy bien hecho, muy bien editado, montado y con estos testigos de diferentes personas que tuvieron experiencias extraordinarias de esta iluminación de conciencia.
Yo les recomiendo que vayan a verla porque los que no creen van a cambiar y los que creemos nos vamos a concienciar muchísimo más.
Es fantástica, os va a encantar.
The directors right now desperately need exactly $293,000 to finish the film, and they want it out in October of this year, 2023. So if you go to the website, www.thewarningmovie.com, you click on the donate button. There are 3 ways to donate. You can do it with a credit card, you can do it through PayPal, or you can do a direct deposit. And if you feel nervous about this and you're not sure where the money is going, I'll tell you 100% is going to the movie. And Christine Bacon and I have a very good friend, Alejandro Yanez, and he's one of the producers of the film. He's in Mexico. He was converted through, more deeply converted through the Warning book. And so that inspired him to give his life over to the film. He's living on Providence. The directors are going forward on Providence. They don't know we're doing this video. We're not getting anything from this. We just felt inspired to help.
So we want the movie to be out as soon as possible. And we cannot do it on our own. There is no way. We need prayer, much prayers. We need fasting. We need sacrifice. We need a lot of help. I won't go into details, but things had happened to us in our personal lives. Because somebody is angry downstairs with this movie. Help us get this done as soon as possible. So we need your financial support.
All the proceeds of the movie, once it's done, will go towards charities. They want to win souls. They want to win souls.
Yes, they're going to gain nothing personally from the film. They are pouring their livelihood, their soul, all of their faith into this film. They are riding on faith. They are riding on providence. They are in a terrible pickle if they do not raise the $293,000 by the end of August, by August 31st. So if you are one of those big donors, if you're one of those small donors, they need you right now desperately, and your money will go into souls, not going to hell, but going to heaven. I mean, there's no greater recompense for what you could do with your generosity.
Imagine what God would say to you. One soul is worth immeasurable amount of money. God wants us to save thousands of souls. And if this movie is viewed by millions of people, 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 of you, someone watching this video has wealth. And you've been looking for a place to place that wealth. And for you, $100,000 is nothing. And when you die, and you know, because you can't take it with you, that the Lord said, I asked and you gave. And look at how many souls are in heaven because you were obedient.
So once again, go to the website, thewarningmovie.com. It's completely safe. I've donated myself. You go to the website, you can do PayPal, credit card, or a bank transfer. And Alejandro can help you through the steps. If you have any questions, his email and his number are below this video. And just contact him, sweetest man in the world. And please know that these scenes from the movie, the whole thing put together is masterful. And God is going to catch souls. He's going to catch the atheist, the agnostic, your child perhaps. And may God help all the people who will watch this movie because of your generosity find their way home. God bless you.
Bye.